loves, welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're doing my go-to complexion routine that I've done for the last several days, and I am so impressed with how well all of these products have worn. They stay in place as I apply them in the morning, when I go to take my makeup off at the end of the day to get in the shower. It looks so good and it does not move, it doesn't budge. So I knew I had to share this with you guys, give you some tips, show you what I'm using, and walk you through my whole foundation routine. Blush, bronzer, highlight. I'm going to share with you the lip combo as well for the day, but I will be doing the eyes maybe in a separate video. If you want to see the eye look, I will share with you that in a separate tutorial, so just let me know in the comments. Also, quickly, just to note, I do have a new camera, so I'm learning the features, the adjustments, the lighting, the microphone, just kind of incorporating this new 4K camera into my existing equipment. So I'm just kind of figuring things out, so bear with me as we figure out lighting, audio. So if you have any tips, if suggestions, I'm all ears. And if you want to see how to do this complexion routine, then just continue watching. The first part is the primer. So for this routine, it's going to be the Caliray So Blown Primer. It's an oil control, pore erasing, hydrating primer. So it has a little bit of everything. It controls oils, it hydrates the skin, it plumps, and it keeps everything sort of locked into place. So it does a lot of things, or has a lot of claims. And I do feel like this combination is just absolutely incredible. And I like to use my BK Beauty 109 brush to apply my primers. The foundation that pairs so beautifully with this primer is the Always On foundation from Smashbox. I absolutely love this foundation. It's a skin balancing foundation with hyaluronic acid and adaptogens to sort of wear throughout the day for a long period of time. It's supposed to hydrate but also control oil. So again, it's one of those products that has quite a bit of claims, but it actually looks really beautiful on the skin. And I typically just use approximately a pump for my entire face. And I like to blend that in with the Pinnacle foundation brush from Anissa Beauty. And I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier the shade, but I have the shade F30N in the Smashbox foundation. And I'm going to bring that just a little bit down past my jawline. And then I also like to take my damp beauty sponge. This is the Beauty Blender. And I like to kind of press everything in. And make sure everything is really well blended. Then my concealer is the Natasha Denona High Glam. This is the shade P1, which is the first shade in the peach range. And I just like to apply not a whole bunch. I mean, it seems like a lot, but once I pull this out of the tube, whatever's on there is enough to do both eyes. And sometimes I use my brush, but sometimes I do the sponge, which is what I'm going to do today. And this covers and blends beautifully. I love this formula. She did something super special with this. You know, I'm looking at my skin a little closer with my mirror, and I'm really surprised at how this foundation and concealer primer combo is looking on my skin that's been quite dry. And honestly, I've had like some just extra tightness in my skin. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's because we turned the heat on in the house, so my skin is feeling a little dry and parched, but this actually looks really nice considering that my skin is quite dry. I need to set my concealer so it doesn't crease on me, and I like to use my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder. This is the shade called Poundcake. I love using my sponge to blend this in. It sets my foundation and my concealer, but I use it just primarily under the eye, and it literally looks like a filter. It kind of blurs the under eye area, smooths everything out, and it's that final touch that truly makes all the difference. And here's the eye with it set, and then just a little bit further down. And then here it is without it. You can still see slight, possibly, hopefully the camera is picking up the kind of creaminess of freshly applied concealer. So having this really keeps everything locked into place all day long. I think I may have mentioned earlier in the video that I got a new camera, so I'm sort of working with the features, trying to figure out this whole 4K thing and the lighting, the microphone, so bear with me if it doesn't look the best or sound the best. We'll eventually get there. It is a work in progress, learning a new device. So I've often mentioned how I dislike doing brows, so I'm going to do those off camera, but I will show you what I use. I always fill in my brows with the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This shade is 3.5, and I want to see how this is going to work with my hair that I recently colored a couple days ago, and I still have a little bit of like staining. The more I wash it, the more those kind of fade, but it is quite dark right now, the red tones. So we'll see how this works. Yesterday, I used my Brow Lift pencil from Charlotte Tilbury in medium brown. This is a warm brown. So I may have to kind of mix these two to make it sort of a little bit more of a match with my new freshly dyed hair. And then I always love using the NYX Lift and Snatch for filling in those gaps, sparse areas where I should have a brow hair, but I don't. So I rely heavily on this brow tint pen to fill in those areas. So those are going to be the 3 products that I use. It will be listed for you down below, but I'm going to do these off camera, and then I'll be back to move on to the next part of my face routine that I absolutely love. Brows are done. I did just use the 3.5. I do feel that it is quite dark, but my hair is really dark, and it kind of looks a little off just because freshly dyed red hair still needs to fade a little bit, and some of the dye needs to be rinsed out. It's only been, I think this is day 3, so I've only washed my hair once since I colored it myself at home, and it kind of looks a little strange, and kind of I need to readjust myself to the color. But anyways, we're moving on to bronzer. This is the Give Beauty bronzer. This is the cream, contour, and powder duo. And I bought this a couple months ago, I think, and I have the shade called Heatin' Up, which is the one that's more for fair skin tones. And I actually ordered the next shade up because I love this formula so much, especially the bronzer. That is like my favorite out of the 2. This formula is just so easy to use. It smells like baby powder, so I'm going to just tell you that up front. There is a fragrance to it, so if you don't like fragranced products or makeup, skincare, this is not going to be something that you will enjoy. I will say, though, that the fragrance smell does go away after a little while, so it doesn't linger on your face. It's mostly when you first open the compact, you get a whiff of that baby powder scent, which is exactly what it smells like. I recently shared my love for the Givenchy blushes. I picked this one up during the Sephora sale that happened 2 weeks ago. This is the shade called Taffeta's Rose, which is number 2. I love everything about it. The colors are so pretty, the way it kind of mixes, and it has just the softest glow to the skin. That's really nice, and I really do enjoy using that. And then I have been picking up quite a bit the Lawless. This is the talc-free blush in Indian Summer, which looks a little bit deeper, like a deep berry, but it is really pretty and super flattering on the skin. I got this in a Sephora favorite set over the summer, and I do enjoy this tone, and it's really flattering, and it's perfect for this time of the year. And I really like to use my Heavenly Luxe brush from IT Cosmetics to apply, and I just take a little bit, just kind of tapping my brush in there, and then I do tap off the excess, and I just kind of press this and tap right over the higher points of my cheek, keeping it mostly concentrated towards the back and then blending towards the apple of my cheek after I've applied the majority towards this back area here. And you can see it looks quite intense and strong in the pan, like a deep kind of berry shade, but on the skin it looks like a very flattering flush that kind of naturally is occurring in the skin. So I think it's pretty. And then I take my sponge and just kind of blend and tap over where the blush meets up to my concealer, because I do blend my blush up kind of high. I do like the way that looks. Then my complexion would not be complete if I didn't show you a highlighter. This one is fairly new to my collection, but it has quickly become such a favorite of mine. I absolutely love this highlighter from Fenty. This is the Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal number 01. This is the Killawatt highlighter. It is a duo. One side is like a softer kind of sheen to the skin, and then the other side packs more of a kind of intense metallic, kind of sparkly, just more intense elevated glow. So you can sort of mix the two together, use one side or the other, and that is what they look like up close. Do you see the difference? So we're going to do this lighter one here, and I love using a big kind of crease looking brush that's slightly oversized for highlighting. So I'm going to take this one here, and this just looks so soft and pretty on the skin. And I like to just go on the tops of the cheekbone like that and just kind of swirl that. Look at that. Do you see that? Just so, so pretty. I love it. And I am late to this Killawatt party, but I am here and I love it. And then I like to take the underside of my beauty sponge that I have not used for any product that's clean. And then I just like to kind of dab just to make sure everything is blended, that nothing is like harsh looking on the skin. And just softening the highlighter when it kind of meets up into this area here. This hair, I tell you, it just keeps sticking out like, pew. It does not want to stay behind my hair. I still have to fix my hair. Anyways, let's move on to the lip combo for today. And then I'll kind of reassess what I want to do with the eyes. I did take out the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda Beauty that I recently talked about, and I bought this when it launched. And I'm excited to continue playing with that to give you guys a better review on it. But I want to do the lip and then kind of see where I want to go with the eyes. So I'm going to start with my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. I'm going to line and fill. This is such a pretty color. One of my absolute faves. Okay, then I took out my e.l.f. This is the O lipsticks, I believe that's what they're called. This shade is called Dirty Talk. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Pillow Talk shade. So I'm going to use some of this. So here it is with the liner and the lipstick and then just liner. It's pretty daggone close, I would say. This adds a little more of a, kind of like a dusty rose tone to it. So the finish of that lipstick isn't quite matte, but it isn't overly hydrating. It's more of like a satiny finish. There was a little bit of tugging with it, but it's not bad. I do like the color. And then I want to top everything off with a little bit of the Naturium Phyto Lip Balm. This is the Hibiscus shade, which is described as a sheer hot pink shade. And I'm going to take just a little bit of that and go right over the top. I adore this formula of gloss. And this instantly adds that moisture that my lips were craving and needing because my lips were feeling quite dry. And it really added a little bit of shine to the lips and made the lips look fuller. And I often mentioned how these are very similar to the Summer Friday lip balms. I've used Summer Friday lip balms before. I'm almost completely out of my vanilla. I'm literally squeezing the tube, trying to get every little drippity drop out because I love it. It's the clear one and it's so good. But these feel identical. Identical. And I just love, this combo. So good. And that is it. That is the whole look for today. I will share with you in the description box everything that I use on my eyes. I am wearing the Pretty Grunge palette and I absolutely love the look that I came up with. So maybe I'll have to show you that in a separate video. But that is it. That is my current go-to complexion routine that I absolutely love. And it wears like iron. It does not move. It just stays exactly the way it is right now. It will stay like this for hours and hours and hours. So that's why I wanted to share that with you guys. It's a great, simple and easy sort of long wear makeup routine that actually stays put. So if you have to get ready early in the day and it has to last through a whole day, hopefully these products will help you with these tips that I kind of share with you throughout the video of how I apply it in the order that everything goes on. I hope that's helpful. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, for watching. And bear with me as I continue to learn my new camera, the lighting, the microphone situation. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And you can also follow me on Instagram. It always pops up on the screen here. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope you had a fabulous Thanksgiving with your friends and family. Thank you so much for being here, for all the support and love that you guys give me. It means so much to me. And I hope to see you in my next video. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.